Hello, welcome back guys on my channel. So today my video topic is the most anticipated game which is will be coming in 2026. By the time this video is released, I guess you might be just playing this game and also re-rolling that game. So as you already know that there were so many anticipated games already coming in those past years, but one thing is for sure is that since Genshin was launched in 2022, the gacha scenes is already changed from before. Why am I talking about is that before Genshin release, there were 2 or 3 major gacha games was on the market, and that was Fate Grand Order, Epic 7, and also the Azure Lane. Now, Fate Grand Order, Epic 7, and Azure Lane was considered as a regional-based popular gacha game, and you have to be the one of those anime fan or also nerd to play those gacha game. Otherwise, you won't even have an interest in that part. So that kind of thinking was happening in that during that mind, and it was not even considered a mainstream gacha game just like the other Call of Duty and modern AAA title games. Now, after when the Genshin was launched, there was too many factors are working. First factor was COVID-19, and during that time people were in the home, of course, of the lockdown, and people need to find something to spend their time by playing in that thing, and that was Genshin launch. And in that time people were actually loving to play it with their friends and also grinding through day and night. So many people really engage with the anime fan too, and since the COVID-19, the anime fans was increased up to 50 to 70%, and Crunchyroll had a huge massive boost during that time. So why am I really mentioning it? Because gacha scenes is already really changed, and Genshin was not even part of it. The after Genshin release, so many new gacha games and so many other gacha games also helps to boost the Genshin and also continue the legacy. If I talk about anything else, it would be come out like the Tower of Fantasy, Arc Knights. Arc Knights actually not even comes after Genshin. It was launched before Genshin like a few months ago. But as you already know that the Wuthering Waves who also continue the legacy, Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, these other big gacha games are already continue the legacy. So sorry if I don't mention the other gacha games just such as the Nikke, Girls Frontline 2. Those are also can be considered as a popular gacha games, but Genshin was actually the huge boost because that also gives developers who already tried to release the gacha games have created a huge path for them to become a successful developer for themselves, because people are not even bound by the region and they are not bound by the nerdness to play any kind of gacha game. This is also considered as their main game. People are trying to play this game as their main game, just like the Call of Duty and other Witcher 3 and also other AAA games. So why am I saying this? This is a little bit introductions, and I need to somehow give you a little bit of details that how a gacha game scenes have entered to this emergeful and also this like a mainstream things. Okay, without further ado, let's talk about our most anticipated 2 most gacha games which really people really want to play it when the game is launched and also have awaited like more than 1 years. And that gacha game is none other than the Windfield or Enfield. Why am I talking about the Windfield? Because the Windfield was the meme created by the developer because they don't even have any kind of guts to release or give some kind of hints when they are going to release. Like if I give an example, the game was tried to launch in 2024, but they didn't. It was trying to launch 2025, which was actually really highly considerable time because people thought they already tested so many beta testing. So I guess there is not even any other beta test to required to test the game. So I guess 2025 would be the best time, or like a mid 2025 would be the best time to release the game. But as you already know that the developer did not even budge to give any kind of idea when the game will release. So after that people are really furious about it and they just named it Enfield to Windfield. So jokes apart, the Enfield is releasing 26 January in 26. So the number is actually really same to same as the year. So as you already know that Arc Knights Enfield is a really immersive gacha game, and also it is also an open world gacha game just like the Wuthering Waves. Graphics is also similar to Wuthering Waves, but it is more than that. And one thing is for sure, after beta testing 3, or you can say the final beta testing, it really left towards the community of gacha gaming bittersweet things. What is that? It is a gacha system, which I am not going to explain most, but one thing is for sure, this gacha system, some things is might be really bad for other people, but in my case they are just following the Japanese one. So if you are one of those people who really in the gacha scenes for years, I guess you heard the Uma Musume. If you're not, then I guess you are just living under the rock. Uma Musume is also part of this Japanese gacha game. So what is the meaning of Japanese gacha game? Japanese gacha game where you have to pull for 200 pulls, then you can guarantee a single character. So in this Arknight's Enfield, it would be like a 120 pulls to get a single character. In the next banner, those pulls are not going to be carried over. So that's the thing the Arknight's Enfield is doing, and people are really furious about it. So in my case, I have no problem about it. While I am interested about, this one is actually fresh into the dish, just like the other not open world slop, just like the Udaringas and Tower of Fantasy and other things. So I'm really interested on it. I'm going to heck of a reroll when the game is launched, and people are also too. So our next game in the list is the 7 Deadly Sins Origins. Now, as you already know that 7 Deadly Sins has a gacha game on their market, which already published by the Netmarble, which is the 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. Now, 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross is actually really good game, because as an anime IP gacha game, their lifespan is not even more than 1 or 2 years. Most of the time they just survive for 3 years because of their the massive fan base. Just if I give you an example, the Pokemon and also the Dragon Ball Z can be a good example. Their 2 games are already running very popularly. First one is a Dokkan Battle, which is already running 10 years and it is totally marked their 11 years. And the second one is a Dragon Ball Z Legend, which is also running like 8 or 9 years. So you already know that how much popular this series, and it is called a godfather of anime series or godfather of shonen. So that can be an example, but 7 Deadly Sins is not even considered that big, but people are really liking to it, and it is a great example of 7 Deadly Grand Cross, where they are surviving 4th years and not actually surviving by a hang of thread. They are surviving in between the top 10 or 20 in the revenue chart list. So it is actually really massive boost. Just thinking about it is just from coming from the 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. Okay, so they are just sequel. It is not actually a sequel, it is another part of it where they are just releasing Origins. 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross was a turn-based game, but in the Origin is an open world gacha game, just like the other one, Arknight Enfields, Wuthering West, Tower of Fantasy, Duatna Davis was not even gacha game. It was a gacha game in the beta testing, but they just removed the whole gacha part. But what I love the most is that it is actually Genshin, but the color is very good and the anime world is really interesting to see, very colorful, very vibrant. That's why I like it. Besides that, when the trailer or teaser was launched like 2 years ago, I thought this game could be a really great game to pick up, but they didn't even give us a hint when they are going to release. Well, they are releasing after 2 years later. I think it could be a great hand or opportunity to play this game. So in that case, I guess this 2 games is the most hypest one in this year, and the other games, which is NTE, releasing these 2 games, big gacha games, in this month of January, which is the start of this year. It is actually diabolical. I think people are going to love it very much. So I guess I'm really hyped for Arknight's Enfield especially. Then if I have a time, if I get a god reroll account in the Arknight Enfields, I guess I would like to try the 7 Deadly Sins Origins. Other than that, I guess this is all for this video. If you like it, leave a like. If you have any kind of comments toward these 2 games, you can leave a comment there, and see you on the next video. Peace.